The reports coming in are unlike anything we've seen. Whole colonies have gone dark. We've lost contact with everything beyond the Soul Relay.
Whatever this is, it's incomprehensibly powerful.
You brought me here to confirm what you already know. The Reapers are here.
Then, how do we stop them?
Stop them? This isn't about strategy or tactics. This is about survival. The Reapers are more advanced than we are. More powerful, more intelligent. They don't fear us. And they'll never take pity on us. If we're gonna have any chance of surviving this, we have to stand together.
That's it. That's our plan?
Admiral, we've lost contact with Luna Base.
The moon? They couldn't be that close already.
Well, they get past our defenses.
Sir, UK headquarters has a vision of it.
Why haven't we heard from Admiral Hackett? What do we do?
The only thing we can. We fight, or we die. We should get to the Normandy.
Well, dang. Stuff got really real, didn't it? Holy crap! That is quite a way to start the third and final series of this illustrious game. Of course, you know who I am by now, but it bears repeating. I am the one true Omni Gamer, Boss Bronze, and today we are reviewing the end of a legacy, Mass Effect 3. Back in 2007, the great company known as BioWare, creators of such illustrious games such as Knights of the Old Republic, the original one, Jade Empire, a personal favorite, and of course that old chestnut, Sonic, the Dark Brotherhood, decided to create a brand new IP, a game series within itself, that is an RPG, but also an action shooter. Now, what would make this particular series different from the rest is that this game would be a game that follows your entire course of action, from beginning to the end. Oh sure, we hear game developers, companies and like say that their game would be different, but you know, it's just a rehash, though enjoyable, copy and paste of the same old thing we've ever played before. Mass Effect actually lived up to its promises. Oh sure, the first game had its faults. It was a bit stat-happy, it was a bit wordy, kind of plotting, but at the end of the day, it gave players an enjoyable gameplay experience. However, things really got better when the second game. They took all the best elements of the first game and streamlined it down to a less convoluted experience, where you could focus on running and gunning with a little stat improvement on the side. While still stat building, it's like just upgrading a couple of bars, that's it. You didn't even have to think about averages and percentiles or whatnot. All you had to figure out is if you wanted your grenade to explode at a wider radius, or be more damaging into a single point of explosive hotness. That's the kind of stuff I like to think about. But I'm just talking about a very mechanical way. Now, Mass Effect is a very story-driven piece, and that's the most impressive part of this whole deal. From your humble origins to how you saved the Citadel at the end of the first game, it was a great experience. But it was merely background filler when I found out when I played in Mass Effect 2, where all my decisions, good, bad, or indifferent, came back in very unpredictably surprising ways. For example, allies I helped with personal problems back in the first game are more than happy to help me in the second game with all my various problems defeating galactic evil and so forth. Some intergalactic pirates or mercenaries I showed mercy to in the first game, they may up and betray me and try to stab me in the back again. Interesting consequences. Causes and effect. Like Mass Effects. Sorry. That was a bad joke. I know. But you get my point. Anything you did in the previous game or games will affect you in the next in the generation. And since Mass Effect 3 is the last one in this series, I'm assuming, then everything you've done to this point will culminate to this game right now. And boy, if you think your decisions is going to end up one way, all nice and tidy and peaceful like, oh, are you in for quite a shock when you play this game? Let me tell you. Okay, long story short, since I know people who are playing Mass Effect 3 have played Mass Effect 1 and 2 beforehand, you once again return to the shoes of Commander Shepard. Your goal in life? To protect the whole galaxy from giant skyscraper-sized mechanical hentai squids from taking over the world and destroying the galaxy.
Of course!
Sorry again. Not my meme, but I couldn't help myself yet again. Now, in the past 2 games, Commander Shepard has been doing just that, defeating one giant hentai mechanical squid named Sovereign, and then destroying the hit squad sent to kill Commander Shepard called the Collectors. But at the end of the day, the galaxy as a whole called him a nut, and refused to believe him. Well, guess what?
Look out! Lieutenant Commander Williams, we're in sight of the spaceport. ETA 3 minutes.
Yeah. Who's the nut now? That's right, all of you fools. And before you can break out your happy dance of joy, they say, "Oh, you're right. Could you do us a favor and go scouring across the universe, finding allies to help save the planet from this imminent threat that you've been warning us for years, but we didn't listen?" That's right. Good old Commander Nutbar Shepard once again has to save the galaxy. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get to work. Now, Mass Effect 3 is the best of both worlds and some of the worst of both games, Mass Effect 1 and 2, meaning that it is a action-paced first-person shooter, but you also have the return of some more of the stat-building elements that few people begrudged in the first game. Me, I have no problem with it, but I have spent a few moments to decide on which upgrade to take my abilities due to stats and percentile rating percentages using my scientific calculator. In combat, you go by the Gears of War method, meaning you pop from cover to cover trying to pick off enemies as they come. However, unlike Gears of War, you have particular abilities depending on your class, which there are 6 of. You can either fry a sucker, send them floating in the air, or my personal favorite, just blowing them up with a grenade. You can't go wrong with a grenade. Ever. Of course, the meat and potato of this series also returns. Dialogue. The dialogue can be used to gather any information you want on a subject pertaining to where you're at any given time. Whether it's taking down Reapers, the name of the main villains in the series by the by, or as simply as shooting the breeze with Joker, played by, once again, Seth Green.
Hey Commander, check it out! Big news! The Blasto movie is breaking opening week records. There's also a big expose on Quasar tournaments, tips on how to make your apartment look bigger, and, oh yeah, a big-ass Reaper invasion.
Ah, Joker, you always make me laugh. But seriously, some of the best conversations are the ones you're not even in. Eavesdrop on these bad boys will always put a smile on your face, as well as mine. Now, what is new to the series is the addition of a multiplayer, which I briefly talked about a couple of months ago in one of my posts. Now, don't get all antsy. You're not fighting against your fellow soldiers. I don't want to have these little conversations where what class is best. The soldiers are best, the infiltrators are best, the adept can fry you, power of the force and all that. No. We all work together against the common enemy, the computer, which is how it should be. In Gears of War Horde-style modes, from different classes, genders, and yes, even species, up to 4 players must fight against enemies such as Reaper indoctrinated troopers, Geth, giant robots, or not so giant robots, and of course your old best friend Cerberus. FYI, all these enemies are also in the single players, so consider the multiplayer a little practice for things to come. How well you do adds to your points. The higher the points, the more the payout at the end of the exercise, win or lose. And the bigger the payout, the better packs you need to buy to get better equipment, guns, and upgrades. They don't count for powers, but only powers will take you so far without the rest of the gear you need. So, how good is this game, you may ask? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I've been playing video games for a very long time. I know exactly what I'm talking about here, and I got to admit, this is possibly one of the greatest sequels, if not the greatest game series I have ever played. There are so many excellent things about it that it's almost mind-boggling how many hours they had to put into this game just to make this game as good as it is. Let's start with the dialogue system. It is fantastic. It is definitely more organic than the second dialogue system, and quite frankly, I never really noticed it until I play this game now. Like the first Mass Effect, I liked it, but I didn't see how many problems it had until I played the second game. It is just that such a leap in technology and thought, it's incredible. Now it's happening again. As much as I like Mass Effect 2, Mass Effect 3's dialogue is superior in almost every way.
Wait, a virus would be detected unless sent on low-priority channels which have a time lag. I may be able to block the upload.
You may be delayed.
Help us! I'll handle this. Got it. Upload's disabled. Looks like we're in the... Wait. He's got some kind of failsafe. Get down!
She was here the entire time.
She was an old friend.
I intended to arrest her.
She helped me take down the collectors, and she just gave her life to save the Hanar homeworld.
Point taken. It was an honor to work with you, Shepard. When the time comes, I'll be there to return the favor.
Heck, even the transition between cutscene and action is seamless. Sometimes it's hard to tell where one ends and the other begins. Another improvement overall is the sound editing. From machine guns to communiques, everything sounds proper and realistic in my opinion. Even the sound of the voice actor sounds completely different if they're talking through a intercom or radio. Thought they replaced some of the characters, but nope, just adding more to the realism. Which brings me to the next improvement, the overall feel of the series. Being the last of the series, and of course the Reapers invading, well, everywhere, they decided to make this game a decidedly darker, more serious tone, like at wartime. I won't spoil much, but man, some of the things that Commander Shepard has to do and is experiencing is weighing heavily on his soul. And it's not just Shepard either. All the main characters from the first and second games, if they're still around that is, are having introspective moments in their life. Coming face to face with their own mortality prompts very different reactions according to their characters. Some bury their nose in books in their work. Others make amends for their past and try to look towards a brighter future, while others resign to their fate and steel themselves for what comes. Who's to say? And as for Joker, well, he tells jokes, which we all need in this time of impending doom. Surprisingly enough, multiplayer is a definite big plus in this game as well. Not to say that multiplayer in general is bad, but from BioWare, and from a Mass Effect game no less, that's pretty surprising. Ladies and gentlemen, multiplayer is an addictive substance to me. I couldn't stop playing it for a couple of days. It is that dang fun. Finally, but not nearly a surprise to anyone, the best, all-around greatest thing about Mass Effect 3 is the fact that it uses your legacy data to create the ultimate experience for your character. This is why I played Mass Effect in the first place. I wanted to see how my decisions and my skills, my actions, affect the overall outcome for the series. And no two players will ever have the same playthrough experience, I guarantee you that. My playthrough is mine and personal, just as other players are theirs. There's no way to predict it, no way to determine what's going to happen. It's all random based on what you decide. It is perfect. It is a story about you saving the galaxy by making choices, finding allies, making enemies, and just like life, having unintended circumstances and effects because of your actions and decisions. This is awesome. So as good as this game is there anything wrong with it? Or have we reached the pinnacle of perfection at last? As much as I want to say yes, my goodness, yes! This game in itself does have problems. And they're not just major problems, they're just the little things. The first of which is, what the heck, BioWare? How come I can't take my created character from both first and second games and just import it directly like the second game did? Seriously, it didn't take. I had to redo that thing all over again. Also, once you finally walk your way through on remembering how you created your guy, does it save this data for you for future use for all other class types? Nope. You have to write down an over 20 character code and input it manually like some sort of throwback Mega Man game. Really, BioWare? Really? What also irked me was the classes. They're not seriously unbalanced, I mean, come on. But some classes are much better than others. As much as I like my soldier, it's downright boring at times. And the abilities that he does have is, well, a little weak. Not compared to engineers which can throw turrets and drones, and adepts that can send guys in space. What do we got here? Bullet time? Some sort of weirdo bullet that's an equivalent to a sandbag shot from a shotgun? And a grenade that bounces past the target? If you can hit someone, kudos to you. But if you can't, it just goes sailing into space, not hitting no one. That's a shame. Small things like that compared to the magnum opus which is this game, I can ignore a few blotches and blemishes, can't you? Well, that pretty much wraps up everything. This game gets a platinum pass of perfection for being an awesome game and an awesome series as a whole. I recommend you not play this game by itself for first-timers. First-timers, I'm not quite sure how you would deal with this sort of game, but if you don't play the first two games, I don't know if you'll be lost, but you'll probably be lost. You need the background information and outright enjoyment of the first two games to get you prepared for what is coming in this one. Plus, let's face it, having all these helpers and connections and benefits and all that just adds to the fun. After all, you wouldn't see Lord of the Rings from The Return of the King, would you? No, I wouldn't either. I'd be lost. So there you go. Mass Effect 3, perfect game. Near perfect game. But still perfect in many senses in the world. So yeah, this is Boss Prawn saying good night and good gaming.
Good to meet you. I'm Commander Shepard, Alliance Navy. Extranet says you're Alliance military. Take care of yourself out there, officer. There's nothing this galaxy can't beat if we all work together. Except the Reapers. Ever see the size of one of those things? My personality matrix can predict what the real Commander Shepard would say with 7% accuracy. I come pre-installed with a flight sim of the SSB Normandy. Got any pets? You look like a Baron person. Always nice to see you. Hey again. Anyone ever tell you you're one hell of a looker, soldier?
Quick! Change the channel!